I got in a cab. The driver said he used to work for a black doctor from Oklahoma who cured AIDS. I was obviously incredulous. It got real fast.
Oh, so we're trying the cold open approach. I like it.
Well, now I guess it's a warm open, but anyway, let's get into it. This episode is brought to us by the Vocaster from Focusrite, Recast Studios, OSHA, AugX Labs, and Capshow. Yes, that's right, we added a sponsor.
These wonderful sponsors make TPP possible. After we hear today's trailer, we'll tell you how you can get a Vocaster audio interface. We're giving one away on every episode of Season 1.
Hi, I'm Arielle Nissenblatt.
And I'm Tim Villegas.
You've hit play on Trailer Park, the podcast trailer podcast.
On this show, it's all trailers, all the time.
The trailers we've selected on Season 1 of the show really range in style. They range in scope, genre, and more.
So far this season, we've learned about the podcast Neuroversity and Sufficiently Black.
We don't want to give away too much about the rest of the season, but we will tease it a bit. We've got audio drama, sex and relationship, travel, and music.
Some of our featured trailers accompany fully produced seasons. Some are made as proofs of concept, and some are just made for fun. TPP is a great place to park a trailer.
So here's what's about to happen after a brief musical interlude. We'll introduce today's featured trailer. We will hit play on it. We'll discuss the audio, and then we've got some extra stuff.
So let's get back to that cab ride, the one you cold opened with.
Yes. How about we do that? We're about to hear a trailer for a show called Serum from WHYY's The Pulse Presents podcast. It was submitted by Grant Hill, who also hosts the show.
I'll just warn listeners ahead of time that even just from the trailer alone, it's an immersive audio experience. So I would use headphones.
Let's get into it. What do you say, Tim?
Let's.
3 years ago, I stumbled into a cab. It was really late, but the driver wanted to talk. He said he had a story for me.
And when he told me what I could do with the medicine, positively help humans, as far as the trouble works.
I was a little drunk, and the story sounded crazy. But the cab driver said it was his job to get this story out into the world. And now it was mine.
Appreciate it.
I was amused, but honestly intrigued. And so I started looking, started digging.
Hello?
And the more I looked, the more I got tangled up in this story, which spans decades.
Bobby Cowan is dying of AIDS.
Continents.
Clinical trials in Africa and perform.
And stretches into the innermost circles of power and fame.
And, I wanted to get it to Magic Johnson right away.
Like I said, sounds crazy.
We were at home, and we both got woke up in the middle of the night with him talking about this dream.
Our lives changed forever. He was consumed with it.
The little boy that got treated, he could barely walk into the room. He come out of the room, and he was running all around, and my large brother said, I want some of that shit.
This is a story about...
It's just beyond ridiculous.
Well...
It is insanity.
You tell me.
He was dead serious.
An Ivy League-trained black physician from Oklahoma.
In about 8 weeks, the virus will start disappearing in your blood.
Countless believers.
Gary was looking into treating busloads of people.
No, I wasn't scared. I was just thinking, hopefully this is the end of all that.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm excited. I feel good.
An idea that might save millions of lives, potentially end an epidemic.
And he said, I've got a cure for AIDS.
Let the people know that this is real, yo.
If anyway this is going to be a slam on Gary Davis, I'm just going to walk out.
But not everybody bought into the doctor's vision.
Plano, Texas. Good morning.
People who were far more powerful. They thought the doctor was lying.
Dr. Fauci, I understand that you were involved in reviewing some of the early research by Dr. Gary Davis at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Do you recall that research?
Yeah, with all due respect, they were not successful. We scrutinized the data.
The doctor, desperate to see his treatment become available, teamed up with some shady characters. Dangerous people.
I heard some calls when we were together, and somebody would say, I'm going to kill you and your family.
He just opened up to me as if he thought he was going to die or be killed, and he wanted to pass this on to me.
And when the doctor died unexpectedly, there were questions.
It says Gary Davis was recently poisoned at an airport.
Nobody seemed to know, or even where he was when it happened.
Lots of them.
He believed Dr. Davis was still alive and in hiding.
From WHYY's The Pulse and Local Trance Media. All right, so I am in the airport, a little nervous, don't know how he's going to react. This is Serum.
I've been nervous about you coming to talk to you, yes.
I have guns. I have a lot of guns. And I know how to use them, and I shoot them all the time.
And I said, "Are you sure it's him? Do you need me to come and identify the body?" And he said to me, "A few FBI agents left a little bit ago. They already did."
I'm Grant Hill.
And if you've ever had a chance to go into the inner corridor of the CIA building in Virginia, there, carved in granite, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Wait a minute, let's pause that. How do you know what's in the inner sanctum of the CIA?
I have faith in God. I have trust in my doctor. And I have belief in the serum.
Serum, available July 26th, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you to Grant Hill and team for sending in the trailer for Serum. Tim, let's break it down.
Okay, so first of all, this trailer from a sound design and mixing perspective, it's exceptional. And it hooked me right from the beginning. But honestly, by the end, I was just feeling a little confused. I wasn't sure where the story was going. It felt like I was about to go on a ride, though, which I personally love.
I think that's a good point. Some people love to be told exactly where they're going. They like to have the whole season laid out for them. Other people like a little bit of a mystery. So it sounds like you're a mystery man.
That's true. Guilty.
I loved it. Like I said, I think the music was great. It really brought me into it. I think I mentioned this to you and you were like, we need to find out who the music person is there. I thought the trailer was long. And listeners, you will note that we did not tell you ahead of time how long the trailer was because we thought that it might make you not want to hit play on this trailer. So thank you for sticking around. And I think that if you stuck around, you probably got a lot out of it because like Tim said, it's just so beautifully done. It's so beautifully mixed. There are also a lot of voices in this trailer, right? There's a lot of tape used, which can be great because it brings you into the world that Grant is building with this show, but it also can potentially be confusing. So I guess that's sort of depending on your state of mind as you're consuming the trailer, you might find that to be something that helps you, and you might find it to be something that distracts you. Listeners, I'd love to hear from you about what the many different voices do for you. So there's news, there's also interviews, there's Dr. Fauci at one point saying dater, which I love.
We also had a chance to chat briefly with Grant about the trailer for Serum.
Here's what he said when we asked him how he thought the trailer prepared the listeners for what was to come in the podcast. And we asked this question because trailers can alert listeners as to what to expect. They can also be intentionally vague.
What I wanted Serum to feel like was that the listener was the frog in the boiling water. And so, we kind of introduce you to this extremely controversial claim, and you feel like, yeah, we are all kind of on board that this thing is so controversial, but as we introduce you to new characters, as we introduce you to new tidbits of information, we slowly raise the temperature in the water to the point where now you're becoming more acclimated to this sort of paranoid feeling, to this idea that, okay, maybe there is something here.
Thank you, Grant. You can find and listen to Serum by going to whyy.org/programs/serum, or just by searching for Serum wherever you get your podcasts. I also want to point out that while I love the medium of audio, it is limiting in that I can't possibly describe to you how beautiful the artwork is for this show with my words. The cover art is gorgeous, and then the individual episode artwork is also really, really stunning. So definitely go explore those pieces of art.
Something else you can explore, the many ways to stay in touch with us. That's great writing, Arielle. I love that transition. We'd love to hear from you, so send us an email at hello@trailerparkpod.com.
Or you can reach us on Instagram at trailerpark_podcast. I also want to read a review we recently got on Apple Podcasts. Tim, we're getting reviews on Apple Podcasts. How fun is that? This one comes to us from Diane Wingert. It says, I have been hosting a podcast for almost 3 years, and it's time for a fresh new trailer. But where do I go for creative inspiration? The Trailer Park Podcast to the rescue. Everything about this concept is brilliant, from the cover art and show title to the intro music. It just pops. Thank you, Diane, and thank you to everybody who's leaving reviews for us. I could not have said it better myself that is our goal for the show. It honestly feels like I wrote that, but I promise I didn't. I don't know who Diane Wingert is. So yeah, big fan of Diane.
And Diane, we can't wait to hear your revamped trailer.
Once that revamped trailer is live, it can be submitted to our show. If you're a podcaster and want to get featured, head to trailerparkpodcast.crd.co to submit. We are taking submissions now for season 2 and beyond.
Check the show notes for links to all the people, places, and things we mentioned in this episode.
Nouns. We love nouns, people, places, and things. We're back in your feeds next week with more from TPP.
What's up, Trailer Park people? Glad you're still here because we've got things to give away.
TPP is sponsored by a bunch of amazing products and services that are simply perfect for podcasters and digital creators.
Vocaster from Focusrite is our audio interface. I highly recommend it because it's easy to use and it looks great on my desk. Plus, we get to give one away on every episode of the show. For this episode, go to the link in the show notes, click and submit. Then you're entered for a chance to win. And if you don't win this time around, there's always next week.
OSHA is our podcast hosting site. It's a powerful, all-in-one podcast marketing platform that combines all the tools a podcaster needs to launch and grow their show.
Recast Studios is helping us make video content for our podcast. And Recast makes it super easy to upload our video recordings or even just our audio to create audiograms.
AugX Labs is helping us with video content, but they're doing it with AI. Plus, they have an open beta program that you can join.
Capsho is an AI copywriting software specifically designed for podcasters. Capsho helps you create podcast promotional copy such as show notes, titles, descriptions, social media copy, and more in under 10 minutes.
Thank you to our sponsors. This show is written by Arielle Nissenblatt and Tim Villegas. We are also your hosts.
It's mixed and designed by Tim Villegas.
Our artwork is by Kaio Slikta.
Thanks for listening. Happy trails.
Brilliant from the cover art.
That's you.
Who's here? You can hear that?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anyone, but somebody's probably going to knock on my door in a second.